Okay, so I want to figure out this phenomenon myself. The RX 9070 XT was praised online everywhere for its great performance and competitive price. Meanwhile, the RTX 5070 Ti reviews were okay, like nothing too crazy or euphoric, but god damn, it is outselling the RX 9070 XT like crazy. I mean, at least here from our personal experiences in the store, the ratio is something like one RX 9070 XT to 6 or 7. Trust me guys, this was not intentional. 5070 Ti's, even though they are at least 150 to 250 euros more expensive. So let's see if the RTX 5070 Ti is worth the premium or you all are paying extra for no reason. Let's go. And right off the bat, we start seeing interesting things on Stalker 2. So first of all, in comparison to the 9070 XT, the 5070 Ti used or at least allocated 1 gig less VRAM, probably due to the faster memory, because obviously GDDR7 is faster than GDDR6, and whole 4 gigs of RAM less. I don't really have the huge beard of knowledge to explain this, but it is certainly nice. Though the performance difference was even more interesting, because on 1440p Epic natively we got more FPS than the 9070 XT, but on 1080p it's reversed, because on 1080p I'm certain that the CPU is bottlenecking because neither of the GPUs were utilized at 100%. So AMD actually pulled more FPS because it has the lowest driver overhead in the market currently. So like the CPU actually had more resources to render frames on 1080p. Moving on to Doom the Dark Ages, we also see that the VRAM usage was a bit lower, but the performance was basically identical, which is great performance. So we'll look for the 5070 Ti benefits somewhere else. But it clearly wasn't on CS2, because the 5070 Ti got less FPS when using 1440p medium settings and 1080p medium settings. So if you're considering something like a 5070 Ti, make sure to have at least a 7800 X3D Ryzen, because the GPU driver overhead is real here. Obviously, if your CPU wasn't the bottleneck, I'm pretty sure that the 5070 Ti would at least have equal results, but now you just can't argue with the numbers we got. Well, the big W that our 5070 Ti got so far was on Borderlands 4. Like, seriously? So far we have an actual W on the only game which died faster than a 10-year-old iPhone 6 with an original battery. Like, come on, bro. But nevertheless, no matter if we used the DLSS or not, it was clearly superior. But not on Battlefield 6 though, because even though the allocated VRAM usage was 1 GB less than the 9070 XT, this did not translate into higher frames on both resolutions. Just like on Arc Raiders, where on 1080p and 1440p maxed out settings, the 9070 XT just won. So far I'm just thinking then, if the 9070 XT is mostly equal or slightly better in games, what are the advantages of the 5070 Ti then? Well, if someone says that Nvidia drivers on Windows are better, then I can't really agree with that, because for me personally they work identically well. But I would agree that DLSS 4 looks slightly better, but I don't know, let's just keep digging deeper until we find out the conclusion. Like, there's no way why so many people are choosing the 5070 Ti over the 9070 XT only to get what, like same FPS on average? Okay, and like I was crying about it in the 9070 XT video, I'll do it again. On Fortnite, the 9600X was just not strong enough for either of these cards, so the performance was very similar on both GPUs. And let's see if the Black Myth Wukong, which has always been favoring Nvidia cards over the AMD, can at least bring the W for the 5070 Ti here. And even though a very tiny little small win, but yeah, the 5070 Ti was ever so slightly better on Wukong. And I think my 5070 Ti finally warmed up or something, because it finally got a semi-noticeable win on Marvel Rivals on both resolutions, so That's nice. In the end, if you really don't use the 5070 Ti for work which utilize the CUDA cores or the NVIDIA encoders, I personally think that it does not make any sense to overpay for the 5070 Ti. Ray tracing argument isn't that good when the 9070 XT is faster in more than half of the games and on par in the remaining half while costing at least 150 euros less. I guess testing the 5070 Ti just proved me how good the 9070 XT is for the money. Of course, as we saw, the 5070 Ti is also good, but it would have been amazing if it was like 650 instead of 850 here. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Cheap bastard out.
Guys, love yourself. That's all I gotta say. If you look in the mirror and hate yourself, love yourself. Yes, you should love yourself now. Yes, you should.